Rain tapped gently on the windows of Millie's Diner, that old roadside place where truckers, farmers, and tired souls came to forget the world for a while. The smell of bacon and coffee lingered in the air when Jake Turner, a single dad and ex-firefighter, walked in with his 7-year-old daughter, Lily. They came here every Saturday. It was their ritual: pancakes for her, black coffee for him. The diner was the one place where the ghosts of his past stayed quiet. But this morning wasn't like the others. At a corner booth, a young woman in a worn army jacket sat quietly, her eyes down, hands shaking slightly as she stirred her coffee. She looked exhausted, not just tired but weary. Like someone who had seen too much and felt too little kindness lately. Then, the door swung open. A loud laugh filled the diner. 3 men, local troublemakers, swaggered in. Everyone in town knew the type. Loud, entitled, and looking for a target. "Hey, soldier girl," one of them jeered. "That your fancy uniform? Or just trying to look tough?" The diner fell silent. The waitress froze mid-step. The woman didn't respond, she just sipped her coffee, eyes steady but sad. Then, one of the men, a tall brute with a red cap, stepped closer and said something that made the whole place flinch. Jake didn't hear the exact words. He didn't need to. Because the next sound was a slap. The soldier's cheek reddened instantly, her coffee spilling over the counter. Lily gasped. "Daddy!" Jake was already moving. He crossed the diner in 3 strides, grabbed the man's wrist before he could raise it again, and twisted it behind his back. The man howled in pain. "Apologize," Jake said, his voice low but firm. The bully spat. "You don't know who you're messing with, old man." Jake leaned closer. "Then you don't know me." Something in his tone made the man freeze. Within seconds, the group stumbled out of the diner, muttering curses. Silence settled. Jake turned to the soldier. "You okay, ma'am?" She nodded, blinking back tears. "I've had worse. But, thank you." He smiled softly. "No one should have to face that alone." Lily tugged on the woman's sleeve. "You're a real soldier, huh? Like the heroes Daddy used to work with?" The woman smiled faintly. "Something like that, sweetheart." Jake offered to buy her breakfast. She hesitated, then accepted. Over pancakes and eggs, the 3 of them talked. She said her name was Maya, recently discharged after serving overseas. She was traveling alone, trying to figure out life again. Jake understood that feeling too well. He had been there after losing his wife, lost, scared, pretending he was fine for Lily's sake. Before leaving, Maya quietly slipped a card under the bill. "Just a thank you," she said, "for stepping in when no one else did." Jake shook his head. "You don't owe me anything." "I insist," she said softly, and smiled before walking out into the rain. 2 weeks later, Jake got a letter in the mail. No return address. Just a silver emblem on the envelope, the crest of the Weston Foundation, one of the largest philanthropic organizations in the country. Inside was a handwritten note. "Mr. Turner, I wanted to thank you again for that morning at Millie's Diner. You didn't just protect me, you reminded me that decency still exists in the world. I never told you my full name. I'm Maya Weston. My father always said power means nothing if you can't use it to lift others. I'd like to help you do the same. A donation has been made in your name to the local fire department, enough to rebuild the playground your daughter loves so much. Consider it a small act of gratitude. P.S. Tell Lily the soldier says hi." Jake sat back, stunned. Maya Weston, the Maya Weston, heir to the Weston billion-dollar empire. He looked at Lily playing in the yard, her laughter echoing through the open window. He smiled. "Guess kindness really does come back around, huh, kiddo?" Lily ran over, hugging him tightly. "You're my hero, Daddy." Jake looked toward the horizon, the rain clouds breaking into light. Maybe heroes weren't the ones with capes or fortunes. Maybe they were just ordinary people who stood up, even when no one else did. Moral: kindness doesn't need wealth, fame, or power. It only needs courage, because sometimes, A small act of decency can change more than just one life.